Yeah, I mean, I tried to just keep confident. I wasn't trying to be so result kind of oriented, I guess. I felt like I was putting good swings on balls throughout the year, leading up to now, and then I was just able to get a couple tonight to help the team win.
Does it all run through your head that now Jimmy and Jax are out for the time being, not options at third base, and so in some ways you've been able to stabilize that position for the team? How important is it for you to, I guess, be able to step into that role after not really knowing exactly what the expectations would be for you this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I think we got a lot of talented players on the bench. You know, you look at Eamon Lance yesterday, first start, double homer. So I mean, I think it's just big for me to just keep working, make plays for the team, keep the line moving on offense. Yeah.
Roman, kind of take me through your approach in the fifth inning grand slam, what you're seeing from the pitcher, and was it kind of on your mind that basically that big motive and 2 outs would be made, and you didn't come through, or you lost scoring chance?
I wasn't really thinking about that. Didn't want to put too much pressure on myself, but I mean, we watched the guy the last 2 days, and his sliders were all his misses were down. So I was really just trying to focus on seeing some up, get some up, and then try and put a good swing on it.
Harris or Ryan, with how the team has surged back after a 4-game skid with a few consecutive wins, what, in your minds, sparked that? There were conversations with, Nick mentioned there was some players-only meeting, one that involved players and coaches. In what ways did you guys have to address certain things with approach or anything to, I guess, credit for this?
Yeah, I think that it goes without saying that this is a really tough squad of dudes. So we weren't lacking any grit or resilience. We were just, at times lacking one more base hit or one more pitch. So the main thing that we talked about amongst ourselves was focusing on the details and tighten up every little screw. During practice, during stretch, even when we're just hanging out together, like just making sure we're holding each other accountable, making sure we're doing all the little things right. And I think we're starting to reap the benefits of that now. We're still not there yet. It's a constant improvement and something that we constantly have to focus on. But now that we've brought it to the group's attention, I've seen a lot of progress towards making those big pitches, and we see Mario get a big hit there like that. That's a big swing. We get a big pitch in the ninth there with the tying run on third base and the go ahead run on second. Make a big pitch. So and that comes from doing 1,000 other little things right that nobody even saw us do. So that's something that we talked about as a team.
And from your perspective at the backstop, we haven't really seen Schiffer get hit around like that before. What do you think was a bit of a struggle point for him today?
I mean, that's a tough situation to come into. I thought he did a really good job, actually. They're a good team over there, and I mean, he made pitches when he had to. Obviously, Green's a good hitter, so 2-strike pitching just as a whole today wasn't great. So I think that falls into that. But I mean, I thought he did a great job.
All three of you guys kind of would benefit on the fact that there was just a lot of plate discipline on part of you guys' part. 12 walks issued by that pitching staff tonight. What necessarily was the approach plate discipline-wise coming into tonight after last night, and do you feel like that's a part of you guys' game overall as an offense is just getting better maybe day by day?
Go ahead.
Absolutely. We've talked about that a lot with the coaches. A lot of our swing and misses have been in balls beneath the strike zone. And so a point of emphasis for the offense has been just getting the baseball up. If they're going to beat us, they're going to have to beat us at the top of the zone. We're not chasing down there anymore. And so that's something that we've really put a lot of emphasis into working on. And now, obviously, we're starting to see the benefits of that as well. So I think that's a common trend that I've noticed amongst this team is there's always room for improvement. And if you give us an inch, we're going to take a mile. So we're going to constantly get better. We're going to constantly learn from our mistakes. We're going to constantly learn from our victories. And then eventually, this season really is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So by the end of it, we're going to be a really scary squad to come up against.
Really talks about how it just takes one guy to start a rally and to create that spark for the team. For you both, Harris and Ryan, how is it in your mind when you're going into the box trying to set the initial tone for the offense going into a game and being able to set the tone for the game, I guess, in that way?
I'm allowed to lead off the game with the utmost confidence because I've got Campos, McLean, Tobias, Compton, I think was the lineup tonight. I mean, you can mix around any of those names, but I'm allowed to go up there with a clear head, just because I have a lot of faith in the guys behind me. I know that if there's 8 dudes running around with gloves out there, if one of them happens to catch mine, I don't really. I'm always counting on them. So I never really worry about it too much. I think that the spark can get started anywhere. If it starts with me, great. If not, I got a lot of faith in this guy. So.
Harris, you were able to see what Mario was capable of at San Francisco, and coming into this season, his role has kind of changed and shifted a little bit, and it seems like he's really been able to settle into a groove the last couple of games. Walk me through what you've learned with being his teammate in the past, and now what you're starting to see with him now in this surge at ASU.
Yeah, that's one of the most solid dudes I know. He's one of my best friends. I've never wavered in confidence with him. Even when he hasn't been playing as good or when he's been playing really good, he really is the same guy around the locker room. He's the same guy in the box. I've known that for 4 years. Everyone's seeing it now. They're like, oh, he's coming alive, and really, he's just been the same dude over and over again every day for us. So, today he ran into. I mean, he's had 100 balls hit hard already, right at people. I think the law of averages would state that they'd have to start dropping eventually. So that's all we're seeing. You're just seeing the product of consistency out of Mario.
For all of you guys, this has been the first winning streak of the season. What changes kind of went into going to maintaining this sustainability that we haven't seen so far?
Yeah, kind of like what Harris touched on. I think we're focusing a little more on winning's hard. So I think it's we can't take for granted winning. Dirty or clean, a win's a win. But I think we're focusing a little more on the details. Things that add up to like a RBI or a shutout inning or something like that. It's not just like simple as what you see on field. There's a lot of stuff behind it. So I think just our due diligence with our process and sticking to it is huge.
Mario, considering this is a time where you can necessarily showcase your skills, especially with all the injuries necessarily surrounding your position, what do you feel like you need to improve on, I guess, individually on either side of the ball? You feel like that needs to necessarily, even with the performance they had tonight, in order to prove maybe to Coach Bloomquist and the members of the coaching staff that you deserve that spot?
Yeah. I'm not too worried about proving anything. For me, it's just kind of like my role. It's like just make plays and have good at bats. That's really what's only on my mind. Just kind of keep the line moving and get these guys up at the top of the order, and just kind of do everything I do is kind of for the team. I'm really not too worried about showcasing my skills or like putting up results, stuff like that. I'd rather just win. Yeah.
That simplified approach, is that something that has been an emphasis recently, especially to, I guess, ground the team and been some struggles and therefore like that?
Definitely with 2 strikes. Yeah, we've had an emphasis on kind of making adjustments, either choking up, getting up in the box, getting on the plate, kind of making the pitcher uncomfortable with 2 strikes. And then our approach has always been see it up, but we kind of just had to, I guess, re-emphasize it and reel it in, like lock into seeing it up. So, yeah.
Mario, we just heard about how you kind of have gone through a slump and are now just starting to kind of come out of it. How do you remain mentally tough when the balls are getting hit at the right, velocity, just in the wrong spot? How do you remain tough and, continue to soldier on?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, just not being too result-based. Like if I put a good swing on the ball, I'm happy with if it's a line out to center or whatever, I'm happy with it. So, yeah, just not being result-based.
Williams, you had a couple walks tonight. Up and down the lineup, they had 12 walks in total. How do you maintain your approach at the plate given the opponent's staff has been so wild?
Yeah, where I'm looking over the plate becomes smaller. I really want to make sure the pitchers are coming to me and that I am in control of the at-bat. And, you have to be okay with them not throwing you strikes. It's a benefit. So, every ball thrown, my zone that I'm looking in continually gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and I'm pumped to move the line if I get the chance to. So whether that's with a knock or with a walk, I'm excited. Again, now we got a runner on and this guy's up. It's a good deal.
Brian, working with both Halvey and Carlone tonight, with them continuing to work through their freshman process, how have you seen them sort of progress and take their learning experiences as they've gone through this season so far?
Yeah, no, I think these type of games are huge for them. It's games where the scoreboard doesn't really matter. Like especially when we're up like 5-10 or whatever it was. That's a big deal for those guys to be able to anchor down those innings when you have a sizable lead. But that's kind of like what we preach. The scoreboard doesn't matter. Just whatever the job in front of you is, like just execute that. And like I was saying, like 2 strikes was pretty bad today. But I think for those young guys, it's awesome for them to get experience in kind of high pressure situations because it's only going to get more from here, especially where we want to go. We always talk about you don't have to say like everyone knows what we're trying to do, but the competition only going to get better. It's only going to be higher situations, more crowd. These type of situations are huge for that because you can't really replicate that in practice.
What are some of those conversations when there are those high leverage situations and you go out there and try and settle in the moment and get them to just focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, that's where knowing your guys is important. The way I talk to Halvey may be different the way I talk to Carlone or whoever it may be. That's just it's just knowing your guys, and some guys need a little kick in the ass or something, and other guys just need like a little pat on the bat. So yeah.
Ryan, you were able to throw out 2 Cal runners tonight. What let you get that great jump after those two attempts?
Yeah, lucky enough to I got great catching guys, Jaff and Gilly, and that's credit to them.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys.